The definition for arthritis was this: it is a common inflammatory condition affecting joints. It is a common, underline the word common. It is a common inflammatory condition affecting joints. Why is it common? Why are diseases being made common? Question number one. We will answer that. And then, this is what we call the pathophysiology. So for the syllabus crooks that like quoting the syllabus all the time and like telling people to produce peer-reviewed papers, this is exactly what you read because it's peer-reviewed. So the pathophysiology basically was this way. When I say pathophysiology, I mean the disease process. How does it come to occur? One, arthritis is typically a disease that involves inflammation of the joints due to one, autoimmune processes, that is the rheumatoid arthritis, and then number two, wear and tear, which is the osteoarthritis. From that point, you already noted there are two. There is osteoarthritis and there is rheumatoid arthritis. On the osteoarthritis, it's wear and tear. So, for example, you're in the gym, you're training, and you hurt your knee. That is osteoarthritis. You're playing rugby or football, and then you're hit and you get these knee problems or you get the ankle problems. That is osteoarthritis. However, the other one, which is the rheumatoid arthritis, that is actually the severe one and it's a systemic one, is what we call the rheumatoid arthritis. And this is an autoimmune. Therefore, your immune system starts to misbehave, ends up targeting your bone cartilage and the joints and destroys the joint. And when you expose now that joint to each other, that bone to each other, the friction that is there brings you a problem. Okay, that friction brings you the pain and the inflammation, and you start getting even low mobility, and that's what we call the rheumatoid arthritis. So we start by inflammation, though nobody says where that inflammation came from. It just came from the air, from heaven, and then we go to the joint damage and the joint pain and lack of mobility, and then in autoimmune forms, our own immune system attacks the joint cartilage, destroying it and exposing it to bone friction, just the same way I've explained it. Now, we stop there with the syllabus and we go straight into what we know. I want you to know this, that autoimmune, there is no way your immune system will just wake up one day and start fighting you. There is no way. There must be something you've done that is actually missing the message that is supposed to be sent to this immune system to instruct the immune system that, hey, this is either our own cells or tissues, or this is an invading tissue that you need to destroy. So the immune system works with that. There's a memory, and there are cells that are called the B cells and the T cells that actually create this environment. They mark and they present this antigen. An antigen is something that is invading you. They present it to the immune system so that it can be destroyed. So if you don't mark it and present it to the immune system, it will never be destroyed, because the immune system will think this is our own, so we don't have to destroy this. So therefore, where does the message go south? That now your immune system is unable to realize that this is your bone, and it starts to target it and destroy it. How? How does that happen? And this is the answer. The answer is there are so many causes of autoimmune condition. And I hope when I talk about the causes, you'll get to internalize it before I even talk about the treatment, because the treatment here, they talk about the pharmacological and the non-pharmacological treatments, and we'll go through all of them and see where we actually go wrong. But this is the reality. Autoimmune causes are basically classified into several things. But remember this, the only major thing that will cause your immune system to target your own system is mutations. Cellular mutations. And these mutations start from the mitochondrial level, your energy mechanism or machinery in the cell. That's where the problem starts. And what destroys the mitochondria is the seed oils, aka the polyunsaturated fatty acids. Poly for multiple, unsaturated for double bonds. So when I say polyunsaturated, that seed oil that you use, the favorite seed oil, your favorite vegetable oil, your favorite oil that is written on 100% pure or organic. Nowadays, they add in garlic to just show you how concerned they are. That one that is written on 0% cholesterol, that is what I call a seed oil stroke vegetable oil. That is the mother of inflammation in the system. That is the mother of all these mutations that start in the mitochondria because of oxidation. When you expose that seed oil to air or to heat, a lot of heat, remember it's already been heated in the industries. So by the time it's coming to you as a clear substance that looks pure, it is actually one of the most impure things that you'll ever take. It has neurotoxins that destroy your immune system and your brain and spinal cord. It has the inflammatory mediators. It has multiple double bonds that can easily oxidize when you expose them to heat. So that is where your inflammation begins. And when I ask you what is your cooking oil, you tell me ile ya kawaida tu, the normal ones. I'm like, which one is the normal ones? This is the root cause of your inflammatory condition. So, number one, what causes autoimmune, what causes your immune system to overreact is genetic mutations, gene mutations, and cellular mutations that are actually initiated by one, infections. So and you see, for you to get an infection, your immune system has to be low. And the number one immune system is the skin, followed by the gut. So if your gut is messed up because you're taking too much sugar, because you're taking milk, you're on antacids, you're on NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and we'll get to understand that the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, the painkillers, are actually one of the drugs groups that is actually used to manage pain in arthritis. But rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune condition, which basically tells you the immune system can target anything, just like SLE. You're trying to manage pain using the NSAIDs in autoimmune conditions, and then the NSAIDs end up destroying the kidneys. When they destroy the kidneys, and imagine you have SLE, which is basically targeting even the same kidneys. What is the solution now? Tragedy is looming. So as you take that NSAID thinking it's a painkiller, it's going to help you manage your pain. It's actually going to mess you up very, very bad. And I'll talk about them one day. But yeah, so infections, that is one. Number two, toxins and cigarette smoking. As you puff that vape, as you puff that cigarette, as you puff that shisha, you're exposing yourself to autoimmune conditions. You're exposing yourself to gene mutations and cellular mutations that will actually trigger the immune system to overreact, and you will suffer the consequences. Chemicals like GMO foods, chemicals like glyphosate, the herbicides that are actually sprayed nowadays on the foods, on those Irish potatoes that you eat every time, they are sprayed because they have to satisfy the demand that is coming in as a result of your consumption of food that are coming from that favorite chips parlor. So for them to maximize the supply towards this food industries or companies, they had to make sure that they are producing massively. And when they produce massively, they have to make sure that the plants are genetically modified so that they can resist herbicides. And then now they spray it with glyphosate, which is basically a cancer-causing agent and something that can actually initiate autoimmunity. Okay? So the glyphosates, the smoking, the GMO foods, the foods that we eat all the time are actually going to cause you all these problems. And then, of course, on the diets, wheat is number one on the list. Wheat has gluten, and the structure of wheat wasn't a bad thing in the beginning because it used to grow very tall. But of course, when it grows tall, it takes more time. But now you see the chapati industry, the one that makes wheat flour, the one that makes the biscuits, the one that makes all these cakes and all that. That industry is big and it requires a lot of wheat. So therefore, they had to adulterate the structure of wheat so that it grows shorter and then it produces massively over a small piece of land. And that's what exactly went wrong. When they did that, the gluten structure was messed up and now it became so inflammatory. And then, of course, they are sprayed on massive. They're sprayed massively because it's large scale production, massive production. So wheat is there, of course, and wheat causes the celiac disease. And you remember, as we started on the list of the things that we mentioned, number 4 was actually a celiac disease. Okay, so we talked about arthritis, SLE, multiple sclerosis, and then celiac disease, which is basically a messed up gut, and that is what is being caused by the wheat. And now wheat perforates your gut, causes it to open up. When it opens up, autoimmune is initiated. That is a problem. Of course, seed oils are here, and then sugar in all forms, including fruits and honey, is also part of the diets that cause mutations. So that is number one, the causes of autoimmune. We have the gene mutations. Number two, we have hormones. These people, women, this is for you. Every time you're taking that hormonal contraceptive, you're causing yourself problems. Anytime you're going for that hormonal replacement therapy, you're causing yourself problems. But how many of you here on this live are still on an implant? How many of you here are still on pills that are rich in estrogen, which is going to suppress your thyroid? And then when it suppresses your thyroid, that is hypothyroidism. How many of you are still using the injection, the 3 months injection? Because you want to please a man who is ejaculating every night aimlessly, and you go ahead and take charge in birth control. It is not your role. Let it go. So estrogen is a problem. Another hormone are the adrenal hormones. So when you suppress the adrenal gland through the same foods, sugar, wheat products, and seed oils, you destroy your adrenals. Once you destroy that adrenal, you will not be able to produce cortisol and the steroid hormones. Once you're unable to produce those steroid hormones, remember cortisol is one of the hormones that actually instructs your immune system not to overreact. So when you have hypoadrenal, you get into low cortisol, and then now you cannot instruct your immune system to stop overreacting, and you get problems. Now look at those things. These are things that you can easily explain to somebody, even if you're not a doctor. But what does the doctor tell you? This is an autoimmune condition, but the cause is not known. It is in genes. It is in genes. It has no known cause. They call it idiopathy. So it has no known cause. So if it has no known cause, why are you treating it? What are you treating? Daktari, what are you treating? Okay, and then we have the thyroid hormones. Of course, in the hormone bracket, which is basically one of the causes of autoimmune, when you have low thyroid hormones, autoimmune is there. When you have low adrenals, autoimmune is there, the cortisols. When you have high estrogen, autoimmune is coming in. Okay, and the same foods that cause you these problems are the same foods that actually cause mutations. Now you understand it better. So you can do better. And then, of course, another thing, when I talked about the gut fix, I told you fixing the gut is number one when you're trying to fix every health condition. It's time for you to hear now.